The scenes received unwanted national attention. Prisoners took over a Nebraska prison, at least temporarily. Now the state faces a lawsuit accused of allowing it to happen. One of the inmates filed that lawsuit. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Griswold.
And I'm Craig Negrelli. He claims the state's actions ignited the uprising. KMTV Action 3 News reporter Josh Egbert toured the prison right after the riot. He joins us live with the latest. Josh.
Craig, in this handwritten letter, Robert Claiborne says he lived in fear for hours inside of his cell at the Tecumseh State Prison after a riot broke out there last month. Now he's suing the prison and several staff members in the amount of $7 million. It was inside the prison walls of the Tecumseh State Correctional Facility. Robert Claiborne says he feared for his life. In a handwritten lawsuit filed against the prison's director and several staff members, Claiborne recalls the moment the fire alarms went off. He wrote, "I looked up and saw large flames in 2D unit filled with black smoke. I then became overwhelmed with panic, anxiety, fear, and confusion." Claiborne is held in the protective custody unit. He says when the prison bars opened, no guards were standing by. Inmates then entered their unit, started fires, and demanded PC inmates to riot and burn down the unit. He goes on to write, "But for the next 6 to 7 hours, I saw a man get beat by 3 people. Smoke and flames in the unit. People from different units who despise protective custody inmates were in and out of our unit. Our cameras were invited inside the Tecumseh prison just days after the riot." Warden Brian Gage showed the aftermath of the damage done to the housing unit.
Some of the glass, when they started the fire by the doors, it melted the plexiglass that was on there.
Warden Gage says inmates started fires by using baby oil and jammed tissue paper into electrical outlets.
We're in housing unit number 2B. And that's one of the areas that were affected by the disturbance.
In his suit, Claiborne says the riots exacerbated his mental illnesses, which includes bipolar disorder and depressive disorder. He says, "In my mind, staff left me there to die." He's seeking $7 million in damages in his lawsuit, saying, "For 6 to 7 hours, I lived with the fear of being caught up in the death by the bands of angry mob or deadly fires would take my life." Now, this isn't the first time Claiborne has tried to sue the state. Back in 2012, he accused police in Lincoln of violating his rights by forcing their way into his home without a warrant and arresting him without reading him his Miranda rights. He also accused the Lancaster County Attorney's Office of misconduct. Those lawsuits were thrown out. We did reach out to the Department of Corrections regarding this suit. We have not heard back. Reporting live, Josh Egbert, KMTV Action 3 News.
All right, Josh. Now here's the latest on the prison itself. Nebraska corrections officials tell us Tecumseh remains on lockdown tonight. Just yesterday, guards started to allow prisoners to start eating breakfast in the dining hall in small numbers. Showers and phone calls are taking place by housing unit with a time limit. Crews are still working to clean damaged areas.